Guys, it is a snowy day, so I thought what we should do on a snowy day is paint a snowman. I've got some white and some black on my little palette here, and I've got my design already traced on. So this is a design that some of you have painted with me this past season, so it'll look familiar to you. So what we got here is a snowman with some birch trees in the background. Sometimes the hardest thing to do when you're new to painting is just starting to paint. This is very relaxing to me. I don't know if you can see this. Turn it this way. I know school's out in a lot of places here where we live in Kansas. They were talking about like possible storms and tornadoes in the southern part of the U.S. So it's a very active weather day. So right now I am just putting in, laying in my markers of where things are since it's traced on. That way I won't lose anything later. I added more white to my brush, and I'm just going to start painting my snowman. It's okay if it has some of that black still on it. That will give some dimension to the roundness of our snowman. That's a little bit too much, but that's okay. It's fun also to use blue in snow paintings. It makes a pretty color. I'm going to paint the sky kind of a gray, gloomy looking sky. Kind of like what we've got today. It's still snowing outside here. Our dog wants to go out to see what it's like, but then she kind of shies away from it. She's not really used to snow yet. This picture would be fun in some different colors, but we're being pretty neutral with this one today. Okay, let's get this going here. Go a little bit faster. Hi everyone, if you're just joining with me now, I am painting a snowman today. Kind of with the kind of day we're having here in Kansas. I've got a grayish sky. I'll have some birch trees and our snowman. Okay, now I'm going to do a darker color here to put in our trees. A little more dark here. I know these look pretty dark right now. There'll be more layers going on over the tree trunks here and some little branches coming from the trunk. Hello, if you are just joining us now, I am painting a snowman. Today's a good day to, excuse me, put on some music and just relax and paint something fun. We'll have to wait to do the driveways and the sidewalks when it's done snowing, but for now we can relax. At least that's my plan at the moment. All right. Make this one a little darker to match. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush. And now I'm going to add some light to my trunks here. Add some birchiness to it. So with just some white, since my black is still wet, I'm just going to add some horizontal little bits here. With some white, and since the black is still wet, it's kind of mixing in. At Christmas time, we were thinking this snowman was, excuse me, singing Christmas carols, but he might be singing the Beatles, "Here Comes the Sun," looking for the sun to come out. Welcome if you are just now joining us. Honestly, can't tell if anybody's here watching me or not. This will get easier as I learn how to do this live bit, little as I go here. I'm surprised our dog hasn't come to check on me. Lately when I've been doing videos, she'll come and see who I am talking to. This is the big sister tree, I guess. This one got a little big. That's okay. Maybe it's more close up. I'm going to clean up this just a little bit there. That's the amazing thing about painting with acrylics. If you did an oops, it can be fixed. I'm going to lay in some snow on the ground here. I'm going to try to make it look like this snowman's sitting on snow, but there's a little bit of something interesting around him. Now when this dries, I'm going to go back and add some white highlight here and there. Okay. I am going to need to switch brushes here. Here, let's try this one. Now that I'm getting in the smaller spaces, still using an angled brush, I'm going to let my brush be a little dirty with some, there's a touch of black on it, so that's what I mean. At the moment I don't want straight on white yet. Alright, I'm going to have to come back and put this stuff on his face. I'm just going to go over it. I'm going to leave the space for his nose, his carrot nose. Just a little bit of sky right in this spot here. Okay, while I'm letting that dry, I'm going to go ahead and do his hat. Well, I'm going to be trying to set up a time to do a scheduled weekly live. I know evening time probably works better for a lot of people to catch me, so I will be trying like a 7 o'clock time here. I'll try that next week. I'm going to have to look at my calendar to see which day will work. You can catch me downtown Newton next Thursday at Jay's place. If you would like to attend, we would love to see you. So now I'm going to put in a darker edge on one side of my trees, just to make it feel like that's the more shadowed side, like the light is coming from this direction. So this side would be shadowed. brush yet. Let's try this one. Super thin brush for these little branches. I'm going to anchor that one down. You can have fun with, we've got the tree trunks pretty straight, but you can have some fun with these tiny little branches. Give them a little bit of character. But again, they're not the big story. The snowman's the story, so. One thing to remember, and now while before the trees have leaved out, it's easier to see as an example, but the branches start out with a wider base where it's connected, and as it grows away from the tree, it gets thinner. If your hand's a little shaky, that helps you with these little branches. So if you've just had some caffeine, it might help you out. Now I know I need a branch here for this is a little bird sitting there, so I know I need a branch there and one here. I know a lot of places are starting to have groups again. If you have a group of women that you would like to have a get-together with, I would love to help you out and help with your paint party. So you can give me a Facebook message, or you can find me at my website. There's a contact us area. Alright, while I have this tiny brush, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put his eyes in. So this snowman is singing, lifting his heart up towards heaven, and he's got his eyes closed. had a little oops, so I rinsed my brush, coming back up to it. Rinse the brush. And if your paint is still wet, you can usually get it lifted off. Okay, so now we can grab one of these. I'm going to add some more white to my snowman. So now that that's dry, I can come back over and brush on some more brighter white. But I'm still going to let some of that shadow show through. It'll make it appear like it has some depth. Oops, that's a lot of paint there. Oopsies. Okay, what color scarf should I do? I've done red in the past. A striped scarf. All I gotta do is buttons. Be very careful not to get in the black here. Okay, I'm going to put a coat of paint on the book here. And then I'm going to come back over it with a color. Okay, on my trees, I'm going to add a little bit of white. Just little touches. snow on top of my branches. Not a ton, just a little bit. Just to add to the story. Okay. I'm gonna add some orange to my palette here. Just a tiny, that's way more than I needed, but orange tends to be a little bit transparent. So this first layer, I added just a touch of white to it. And then I'm going to let that set for a moment, and then I'm going to go back over it with more orange. Now his scarf. I guess I'll do a red and maybe red and black striped scarf. Or I could do a red and gold, red and yellow. I'm going to go over it with red first, and then I'll come back and add some yellow to it. How are you guys doing? I really like these angle brushes. They're pretty easy for me to work with. Pretty versatile. Okay, I'm going to let that set so it can dry. So he needs some buttons. Let's see. Should we do our traditional black buttons? Maybe black with two-toned. Black, and then we can have another color on top. That would be neat. Okay, let's see. He's gonna need some arms to hold his book. But first we gotta, what kind of book is this? We're doing green before. I guess we can do a green book. This little singing book. That one's not even good. Let's see if this one works. I hope it doesn't have a hole in my shirt. Showing you off my shirt. Okay. Do this bright green. And this bright green's kind of little bit on the transparent side too. So I'm going to let it dry and go back over it again. Sometimes you just have to do that. If you're just starting to paint and using this student grade paint, which is fine, you might find that you have to let something dry and then go back over it again just to make the colors stand out, be a little more opaque. That's what I'm trying to say. Not see-through. Alright. I think we can get more of our nose on here. I'm gonna, oh, that's kind of a lot. I'm just gonna try to add some tiny shadowing on his nose here. See if I can get my white, tiny bit of the black, and orange on my brush. Oh, we gotta let it dry longer. Trying not to use the hairdryer while we're on live. So, we'll let it dry. Let's paint our little birds. Little red birds. I think maybe they're helping this snowman sing. Helping him out. So you can see these birds are a pretty simple shape. They're facing each other. Because that got in the dark part of the tree, I might have to go over that again. Acrylic painting's all about layers. Swap brushes. Over scarf again. See how that's looking better? Letting that dry. When you first start learning something new, and maybe that's where a lot of you are, learning something new. And everybody has their own budget. Mine was definitely starting with basic student grade paint, and I still use it. Upgrade when I can. And I kind of defer to the type of project that I'm doing and what kind of paint I'm going to be using. Okay, we're getting there, getting there. Okay, so My book is about dry, so we can add a little bit of yellow to our scarf. Probably should let that dry so I could, excuse me, I can add more green to this. I'm going to add his arms. There we go. This is pretty quick, guys. Alright, 45 minutes, so not that fast, but we'll be done here shortly. Gonna touch up this hat. So we got the hat, the scarf, the nose, face, buttons, the birds, trees are done. This hat looks a little funny. I think I need to put a light highlight on his hat for one thing. And then something right here so we can see the rim. Now, let's finish up our birds. Oops, get that green out. I don't want my red and green to mix. It will gray out the color. Now if you have a gray that you need to, I'm sorry, a green that you need to make a gray color, if you add a touch of red to it, that will help you out in the process. Well, hello, little visitor. How are you, little dog? Our little dog had to come in and see what I was doing. I was talking to myself. She's checking up on me. Okay. I'm going to put a little beak over here. Tiny little eye. I'm gonna add, well, hello, I see you, I promise. I'm gonna add a little white marks for their, I just feel like they need that right now. Now, let's jazz up these buttons. Since I want to put a little color over those, I'm just going to add some white first. Let's see, let's give him some yellow buttons. That white gives us a base to put that yellow on. And now, let's see, a little bit more orange to our carrot. I'm going to add some, oops, that's a little too much paint. I'm going to add some stripes to my scarf. And let's put a little bit of yellow on top of that. Are you talking to me, Sophie?